Now, Branko Culina, Miran Bleiberg and Eddie Krenčević are here with me still as we look to the Asian Champions League now, when all the news, of course, was surrounding Sydney FC going to Japan and, well, going ever so close to getting through to the knockout stage. Branko, your team did ever so well to, I think, take most of the initiative. You won the possession stakes, you had your chances, but you also had chances in other matches. So in the end, that draw meant you missed out by, only a point. However, how did you feel about the way your team applied itself in Saitama?
Look, it was always going to be difficult in Saitama. Urawa Reds are a very, very good side. All you had to do is have a look at the bench to realise how quality a side they are. You know, they had people like Hasebe, a Japanese international. They had Okano, Nakawara, Nagai, another Japanese international on the bench. So they didn't even get a run. But look, I was very proud of our boys at Sydney Football Club. The game was never going to be one of too many chances, and that was probably the best opportunity there. And we'd probably
David Zrilic's header.
Yeah.
Was the big one, yeah.
Exactly. We'd be kicking ourselves not taking that opportunity. We had one or two others later on in the game, but Urawa Reds were very, very determined. There you go. That's what we were talking about.
Well, a tale of near misses. Miran, I want to get your thoughts on Sydney's campaign. What did you think? Because, I mean, I can't remember many Australian teams going to an environment like this, over 50,000 people, and having such a good command on the game, but they couldn't score again, and it's nothing new for Sydney at the moment.
Do I have a permission to be critical of Branko?
Well, you can say whatever you like.
Okay, so I'll go. I think Branko did a marvelous job, and it was very respectable performance all over. I think Branko, in the short time that he was there, he got the respect of the player, got respect of the media, respect of the Sydney supporters, and I think the public at all, which is very good. But I think that Branko lost not the game in Japan, the tournament lost in Indonesia and in the game home at China. And when you go to a tournament like this with 6 games, it's like you're going to the last 6 games on the A-League, and then you analyze what you need to do. To draw here, to win here, you're allowed to lose by 1 goal there, whatever. And I think the plan was missing. When we in Indonesia play in an unhuman condition, and Sydney, from memory, was 1-0 up, maybe there was a time to close the game and to go with 1-0 or a draw, and not to try to win the game. And in the end, we look like a bunch of amateurs because the player couldn't handle the condition, the humid condition.
I don't know. What do you think, Branko? Is that a fair criticism?
Look, you know, if you go back and analyse everything, there's many games, including the one Miran's talking about, that we could have handled differently. I think it's very hard to close the game off after 8 minutes, which was when we took the lead in Indonesia. But look, the game was there. The chances were there. You've got to be good enough to take them. We weren't good enough, and there's many reasons, including, as I said, the preparation for the Persik game. We were supposed to play that game at 3:30. We ended up playing at 10:30 in the morning. It wasn't ideal. It wasn't our choice. So I'm not sure how much you could have done about that. But there was a game against Shanghai, probably in the 2 weeks ago, when we had many chances, didn't take them. The game against Urawa Reds, when we were 2-0 up, and made a couple of blunders that allowed the team to come back. But look, without trying to justify all of that, I think it's going to be difficult for Australian teams in the future as well, because we're out of season. Therefore, the players will not have that week in, week out competition that's required to keep your fitness and sharpness at that level. I think also the biggest problem for Australian clubs, we would have had no problems with the Indonesians, with the Chinese or the Japanese if they didn't have the foreign players. The 3 quality foreign players that these teams have make a difference for those clubs. And for Australian clubs, not only Sydney Football Club, but Adelaide, Melbourne next year, and others, to be seriously considered as threats and maybe have the chance of winning this competition, which I think they will, then we need to have more foreign players, quality players that can make the difference. I thought our team against Urawa Reds over the 2 legs, where we drew 2-2 and 0-0, played as well as we could. But we just didn't have that little bit of individual brilliance that may have turned things around. But overall, I was delighted with the team, and not only with the results, but the way we played football, which I believe is the way it should be played.
Well, something to build on for you anyway as you move towards the A-League version 3. Well, after the match, World Game reporter Scott McIntyre caught up with several players and the coaches from both sides.
The boys played well. We knew it wasn't going to be easy coming here and getting a result, as was proven. But as I said, I thought everyone worked very hard and played the full 90. And today, I guess, just wasn't our day, mate.
自分たちにもね、チャンスがあったし、ホームで、しっかり点を取ってね、勝ちたかったんですけど、それもやっぱり、シドニーの力もね、やっぱりあるということで、妥当な引き分けというのは妥当な結果なのかなというふうにも思いますけど。
I guess some of the players weren't so happy about the performance. Now everybody is relieved, everybody is happy that we're in the next round, but I think directly after the game some of them were not happy about the performance.
We're disappointed, mate. I think, because we came here, I think we played well enough to probably have come away with a win, but, again, like last game, we didn't have that killer instinct and we didn't, put away our chances, which has cost us,
You talk about the change in the way they've played. Your thoughts on the old coach were well known. Do you put those changes down to Branko?
100%. Unquestionably. It's a completely different team. I was told, made me laugh anyway, that a lot of the midfielders from last year had neck trouble because watching the ball fly over all the time.